Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz. This is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over the 4 Sweet 16 games for Friday, March 29th, 2024. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my college basketball Bank Shot best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games in the Sweet 16 for Friday. First up, it's NC State and Marquette. This one's going to be a 7:09 Eastern start time. It's going to be on CBS in the South region. NC State's the only double-digit seed left in this tournament. You know, in recent years, we've seen quite a few double-digit seeds make the Sweet 16, even the Elite Eight, and so on. But NC State's the only, upset team or Cinderella team left, and it's really tough to go against them right now because they ran the table in the ACC, so they're red hot. They took down some tournament teams along the way in that tournament: Duke, Virginia, North Carolina, and then they've looked really strong in the NCAA tournament so far as well. They took down Texas Tech as a 5.5, 5-point underdog in that game. They won by 13, 80-67. They took down Oakland in overtime. A little bit of a scary game there, but Oakland's a Cinderella team that beat Kentucky, so no shame in that. The seedings really don't matter past the first round. And any win in the NCAA tournament from this point on is really impressive. So NC State, I think they actually match up pretty well in this game. Marquette, great team, great offense, and that offense was outstanding against Colorado in that second round ball game. However, I do worry about the fact that Marquette shot 74% from 2-point range, 43% from 3, and they only won the game by 4 points. It was a game where their defense really didn't get a lot of stops, and fundamentally, Colorado was the much better team. They had a 12-3 offensive rebound advantage. The turnovers were even, which is not something that Marquette usually sees. Marquette, very aggressive defense. They force a lot of turnovers. They take care of the basketball. So for that game to be 12-12 in the turnover department against a Colorado team that turns the ball over left and right, that's a big concern for me because now NC State comes into the picture, who does a great job of taking care of the ball. They're 10th best in turnover percentage offensively. They're an experienced team, 14th most experienced team in college basketball. They've got some superstars and guys that are really rising to the occasion here, like DJ Burns. And I think NC State, while they're a great story, they're also a pretty great team right now. They're playing great basketball. I think there's value with them even at this spot. Even after a couple of upset wins, I still think there's value with the Wolfpack. So give me the points here with NC State. I could still see Marquette winning, but I think it's going to be a really close one. Next up, we see Gonzaga and Purdue. This one's going to be a 7:39 Eastern start time. It's going to be on TBS in the Midwest region. And this is actually a rematch. These teams played at the beginning of the season back on November 20th in non-conference play. And in that game, it was a 10-point win for Purdue, 73-63. While Gonzaga's playing with revenge in this game, I don't think they get it. In that ball game, we saw Zach Edey have 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks. He was dominant in that one. He should have another big day here. Even though Gonzaga's got some size, I still don't think that they can compete with a guy like Zach Edey. He's just been dominant basically all season long and throughout his collegiate career. But beyond that, even though I think Zach Edey has a big day, I think it's also important to note Gonzaga's three-point defense, not the strongest, ranked 171st in three-point defense overall, but also they give up quite a few points, 33.1% of their points given up are from three-point jumpers, and we hear a lot about Zach Edey being the best player in college basketball. However, we also forget that Purdue's #1 in the country in three-point shooting, even better than Kentucky, better than Alabama. They're 40.9% right now in three-point shooting on the season. They had a huge day from the perimeter in that game against Utah State. So, one of the big advantages that Purdue has with Zach Edey is he's a great passer right now. He is really finding when teams double team him in the paint, he's able to kick it out to a wide open guard for 3, and that's been Purdue's bread and butter so far in this tournament and when they've had their best numbers in the regular season. So I think we see Purdue's offense have a big day here. I think Gonzaga's defense is in trouble. Gonzaga's offense has been off the chain. It is shooting the ball very, very well. So Purdue's defense is going to have its toughest matchup by far in quite a while, but I think Purdue has enough in the tank defensively to win this game and cover the numbers. So I'm going to go with the Boilermakers here and lay the points. Next up, we see Duke and Houston. This one's going to be 9:39 Eastern. It's going to be on CBS in the South region. I think because of recent results, particularly in the second round games for both of these teams, we're getting a really good price with Houston in this ball game. Houston, they didn't look sharp in that last game against Texas A&M. They needed overtime as they blew a huge lead. A&M at the buzzer beater 3, and they go to overtime. Texas A&M scored 86 points in regulation, 95 by the end of the game against a Houston defense that we know is a juggernaut. That's not, it wasn't their sharpest performance. We know that. And Duke on the other side, they had an absolute blowout win against James Madison. James Madison, a very popular team this season, both in the regular season And going into that tournament, I mean, I think they were the most popular 12-5 upset pick in the first round. They took down Wisconsin, but Duke 93-55. They could not miss from three. I think McCain was 8 of 11 himself. It was a great offensive performance from Duke. While they have two nice wins in the tournament so far, we got to remember it was against Vermont and James Madison, two really talented schools that have played really great basketball this season, but two mid-major schools that are nothing like Houston, especially defensively. Houston, I think, sharpens up quite a bit defensively in this game. I think their offense also has a nice day against a Duke defense. I think has its question marks. Duke, towards the end of the regular season, was not great. They lost that game against North Carolina at the end of the regular season. They lost the first game that they played in the ACC tournament. We've mentioned that no team has ever won the national championship if they've lost their first game of their conference tournament. So I do expect Duke to be taken out at some point. I think this is going to be the game. I think we're getting a really good price because of recent results, because I think a lot of people saw that Duke blowout. They saw Houston struggle. They're going to say, we're getting a few points here with Duke. Might as well take them. I'm going to go the other way. Give me Houston and lay the points. Next up, we see Creighton and Tennessee. This one should be a great game, 10:09 Eastern on the TBS. It's going to be in the Midwest region. And, this was a Creighton team that played one of the best games of the tournament so far. In their last game against Oregon, it was a 86-73 win. You wouldn't think that by that final score that the game went to double overtime. Of course, we had Oregon plus the points, getting 5 points in that one. They had, so many chances in regulation and the first overtime to cover. Nonetheless, it was a bad beat, but give credit to Creighton for winning that game in a really strong, especially the second overtime. They were, just outstanding on both ends of the court. They really cracked the code in that second overtime against a really good head coach in Data Altman and the Oregon Ducks. But, in this game, I think Creighton actually matches up pretty well. Creighton's a team that we know is going to take and make a lot of three-point jumpers. They take, the seventh most in the country. Tennessee, that defense against a three-point jumper is a little bit suspect. Tennessee's a great two-point defense, but they give up 33.4% of their points from two three-point jumpers. That's 75th most in college basketball. I think Creighton's going to be able to take advantage of that. Another thing, Creighton's defense is beatable from two-point range. Teams score a lot of their points via two-point field goals, particularly mid-range jumpers. Tennessee doesn't score a lot of their points from those two-point field goals. 290th in terms of the point distribution. They only score 47.2% of their points from two-point field goals. So right off the bat, I think Creighton matches up really well. I like the fact that Creighton's a good defensive rebounding team. They're going to be able to hold Tennessee to one shot per trip. They don't take many fouls, so Tennessee's not going to be able to get those points from the free throw line, which they usually get quite a few. I think Creighton's the better I don't know if they're the better team, but I think they match up better in this game particularly. I'm going to go Creighton and take the points here. We're getting a couple points with the Blue Jays. Give me them with Creighton. And that's it. Those are the NCAA tournament games for Friday. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. There's also a link in the description. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.